Hello and welcome to the Craftsman Show. My name is your host, the Craftsman. In today's video, we're going to look at techniques that you can use to convert your Hot Wheels car into post-apocalyptic machines of war and of mayhems and destructions. The best part about all of this is that it can be done with items laying around your house. Somebody messaged me by saying, "Craftsman, have you ever heard of the game Gaslands? It's fun for the whole family and can be played using items that you got laying around." I quit reading the email and started gathering up items I thought would be good, useful for Gaslands. Then I read the rest of the email and realized it was talking about, a tabletop game. My bad. About 3 weeks ago, I ordered the Gaslands rule book, but it's still delayed in shipping. So let me see if I got the basic instructions somewhere else on here. Let me see here. Get down the field, get down. Wait. Here we go. And this is just the basic instruction right here. The very, it's a little more advanced than this, but it basically consists of building your team of vehicles, and then you use these maneuver templates to drive around and stuff. My templates came in about 2 weeks ago, and these are also available online to print. Gaslands is a really interesting system, and I'm looking forward to learning in depth when my rule book comes in. But the focus of today's video is on making our own post-apocalyptic vehicle. A lot of the items that I ordered to show y'all today has not come in yet. But to be honest, that's probably the way the thing needed to work out for this video, because that will force us to get even more creative and to use the things that we just got laying around. And so the key concept is this right here. The people driving these cars, you got to think about it. They just welded on some scraps and came up with little makeshift defense systems. But that's the essence of this video, is making something with whatever you have access to right now. One of the first things that you will want to do, and which to me is also one of the funnest parts of all of this, is to rummage through your old cars and things. In this video, we're going to be using mostly Hot Wheels cars, but you can use Matchbox or whatever brand that you got. The scale that we're looking at, though, is around 1 in 64. And as far as the tools that you would need, it's really nothing crazy. I use me a little file, some different ones, different size files. Exacto knife, a drill, even just a drill bit, without the motor. You don't even need the motor if you got, strong enough hands, dexterity, sandpaper, steel wool, some little hands, some little saw, little coping saw, some cutting saws and things. Or maybe just some snips, some pliers and things like that. And this ain't really a checklist, it's just some of the things that I found myself using throughout the process. Now, as far as the little parts and things, I'm going to be using old model kits, old toy, pieces of extra figure, metal wire, some rods and scraps, and little bits, little things that you got laying around. Let's look at paints real quick. When it comes to paints, alright, Craftsman prefer acrylic instead of oil-based paint. And so my favorite ones of these is Modern Masters acrylic. They're more expensive than the craft stock paints right here, but probably the best paint to use is the paint that you have available. And then on brushes, that's a whole nother big time topic with a lot of some big times opinions on there, but I just use whichever brush looks like it might work. Instead of just showing you start to finish on one particular vehicle, I'm just going to make this video a grab bag full of all the different little techniques that I find useful for die-cast car modifications. So you can just go through and pick and choose which techniques that you want to use. Alright, so first thing first, how do we take this car apart? Easy way to do this is to just flip it over and drill out the little post right there. I like to put the car on top of something that will keep it from getting scratched up. Look at that. And while we at this little point, let me show you this right here. When it comes time to reassemble all this, Craftsman just super glues it. If you want to get fancy, then you can drill you a little pilot hole and then add your little screw to it that way. You know, you could take things apart later. But me, I just super glue everything. I'm going to always assume that this car right here has got some type of oil, some type of residues up on it. So I'm going to at least wipe it down with rubbing alcohol. Alright, you can strip the paint if you want to. And not only is that going to give you a blank canvas to work with, but in the case of these metal body cars right here, you can use that bare metal body to get, in my opinion, a real good look, you know. Look at the little gremlin right here. That little die-cast car paint is probably tougher to remove than you might would think. I was able to just, let mine sit in some acetone for a while, but even that took a little while to start to remove the paint, and I had gone ahead and scrape it. And you can also use some steel wool. If you want to get big time into this and say you want to strip paint from the lots of cars without a whole lot of effort, then you might want to consider aircraft paint removal. And if you don't want to mess with the fumes, then you can use a citrus-based paint stripper. And at this point, if you're not going to build anything onto your car and you say you just want to paint it, then right now you can go ahead and hit it with the primer. And then you can start painting over with the brush, airbrush, spray paint, Radican, whatever that you got. But if you would rather just keep the car's existing details, all right, the paint job, the little logos and things, and then just build over that with layers of your own paint, like say you want to add some graffitis to it. Then you might just want to go ahead and spray the whole surface with a clear matte coating. Now, dull coat is made by Testors and now. It's pretty well known. It's a good candidate for giving you a matte surface. Now, Craftsman does not have dull coat. I have this matte acrylic spray right here. So that's what I use. So what this is going to do is it gives your surface a little bit of tooth, T-O-O-T-A, for your paint to grab onto. Here go a car with a half matte coat and then half not matte coat. All right, so let's see how the paint reacts with each side. See that right there? Your paint should grab onto better wherever there's a little matte texture. So that's just some, get that out the way. That's just some basics about surface preparation and coating. Let's talk about all the different ways that we can physically get up in here and just change things. Just get crazy. Get the good. We're going to get buck wild with the change everything. All of it. All right, let's say that you want to go on here and add you a little supercharger to your car. And you need to drill a place in the hood for a little hood scoop. All right. So we got us a little hole in there, and we're going to take this little triangle file right here. And then just careful go in here and work us in some little corners. Sure. And there we go. We got us an opening here now where the hood scoop can stick out. Maybe we put us a little bug catch or something on there. Anyway, that's going to give us some increased airflow down to the supercharger. And we're going to be Cadillac now, And we did all that just with a drill and a file. If you got a step bit right there, that's going to make it easy to make holes in thin plastic without cracking it. You can accomplish a lot with masking, just masking alone, all right? And one of the most obvious things that, let's say you want to add you some stripes to your car, sure. Easy to do. But you can also cut out any shape that you so desire in your heart that you can make and make you some fancy design. This right here a neat little trick that I like to do. I take a car and I say, where the windshield wipers go on this thing? How do the egg? Whoosh, right there. Okay. And then I just take and cut me out some little masking tape and then stick it on there. And then I just spray the windshield with a matte spray. All right, now look, I know that ain't the best looking, but you know. Craftsman, I forgot to tell you, I don't have any matte spray. 10-fold, you can just hit it with a fine abrasive like that right there. And that's going to also add some diffusion to your clear surface. Going to make it kind of matted up, Surface variation really is on. And speaking of variation, all right, as you're going through doing this, I want you to remember that these cars probably going to be, made up of junkyard pieces, all right? Maybe the owner of this car, maybe she got that replacement doll for the exact same model, but it was just in a different color, That's all the one she could get. So that doll knew it right there. That's the most shiny doll, you know what I'm saying? There's lots of ways that you can get glossy on a little specific part. Sometimes I just hit me a little dab of super glue and rub it on and buff it, but an easier way to do this is to use Mod Podge. All right. Now, when it comes to texture, they just about just an unlimited buku, all kinds of crazy ways to get texture on plastic, on metal. When it comes to making your vehicle look like it's, worn out roughly used, I like to go on here and put me a little ding right there. Add some little scratches and things to a little nick. See that right there? I just use an X-Acto knife, go in there right there. This part's really fun to me. There's a tiny scratch right there. So Craftsman's favorite #1 trick on getting metal texture, and because it's so easy, so effective, is just right here. Look around your workshop or your home or whatever. Find you something that's got a knurled handle like that. A little diamond looking pattern right there. And you lay down your piece. It could be plastic, but in my case, I'm just going to use this aluminum right here. And use a good, it's going to take a pretty good bit of pressure, but I believe in you. I believe that you can do this. Roll the handle across that piece right there. Push it down hard and just roll it steady up. Look at that right there. See that? And you can use all kind of different little tool handles. Look at all this right there. Y'all know what this needs? Some black wash. Black wash is probably one of the easiest way to bring out the details in your model. So I got some black wash right here. Commercial can, this is just different colors and different ones. And you can just dab it on there. Some people like to dip their black wash, and that depends on the black wash formula that you're using, I like to just dab it on there and let it sit just for a little bit. And then I just go like that right there. And I wipe it off the high point. What's going to happen is going to get into the crevices and creases. Craftsman, I don't have black wash. Probably you do got black wash. You just don't realize it. The simplest way to make black wash, and this is the way I've done it many times on the program, is to just take your acrylic paint and just mix it with a little water. Just put a dab of paint, add some water, mix it. And then just test it as you go, see what happens. And then if y'all really want to get crazy with this mix, go to your kitchen and find you some dish liquid and just add that to the mix. That's going to become a flow aid up in those. Alright, so just like black washing, dry brushing is another one of them little techniques that's going to give you a big result with a little bit of work. First thing you want to do is pick you out a brush that is not your, favorite one, not the most expensive one. It's just, you're going to be beating up the brush right here. And pick you a lighter color. So I'm going to dip my brush in a little bit of silver paint right here. And then I'm going to wipe off most of the paint. See that? Wop. And then when you look at the brush, it should look like it ain't really got no paint on it. See that? The paint's just hiding up inside them bristles right there. So now what's supposed to happen is you're going to go zip it to do that back and forth across your little object right there. And look at that's right, the magical. Look at them little high points, them hard edges. That's where that paint's going to catch. And ain't nothing to stop you from trying color pencils either. No, come on. Let me introduce you to the soft mask rusting technique. I definitely did not come up with this technique, but it's a really good thing to know and to play with. All you're going to need is some salt, a rust color, and then whatever color that your car originally was supposed to be. So you take it outside and spray the whole thing with that rust color base, you know. So that's what that looks like right there. Now I'm going to get my little seesaw. I'm going to crunch them down to be finer scale, smaller. See that right there? And I got me a little brush right here. And I got me a little cup of water. I'm going to dip it in the water and just go around here wherever that I think that it might be rusty. All right. Wherever that you want the rust to show up. And before the water can evaporate, go ahead and brush on, sprinkle on the salt. And what's going to should happen is the salt is going to stick to all the little wet areas. And we're going to let that sit for just a minute, but not to get completely dry. And we're going to take this outside and then spray it with the color right there. And then once that's dry, we're going to come in here and just brush it off right there. That's pretty neat right there. All right, Craftsman ordered some weathering powders, but they have not come in the mail yet, but that's what they're supposed to look like right there. That's give us the opportunity to make our very own weathering powders. One of the more well-known ways that you can do this is to take you some pastels. A couple of things. First of all, you don't want to use all pastels, all right? It needs to be the chalky one. The pastel that I have right here actually is the most softer variety, see that? And I personally did not really like the way that they was behaving as a weathering powder. So what can we do? I went out into the yard and got me some sandstone. I broke me off a little chunk with my hammer and got my little mortar and pestle. And look at this. I just ground me up some sandstone powder. Craftsman, we don't have sandstone in my neck of the woods. Another thing that you can use for simulating a dirt effect is some dirt. This can make your tire look more realistic. And so once you get things how you like it, then you need to lock it in place to fix it. Craftsman used a matte acrylic spray. Same thing I've been using through the whole episode. Craftsman, you remember a little while ago I said I don't have a matte acrylic spray? If you might want to experiment with hairspray, some hairspray actually will work in place of this right here. Basically what it is, you can print out a little image, anything that you can, design, whatever that might be, logo, some graffitis, anything. Print it out on your laser printer onto label release paper. Brush you on some Mod Podge or Liquitex gel medium. And then stick that image down, face down onto it. And then let it dry. Peel it off, and you got you a nice tone image transferred right onto your vehicle. This right here is one that I have never tried before. This is my first time to do this since I turned that creativity switch on right there. It's got me thinking outside the box. I said, embossing might be a neat little way to get details upon our little vehicles and things. Craftsman has made a video before this all completely about embossing and things. So if you this is the first time you seeing this and you want to try that, look at that video. But this is the first time I ever have tried it on a Hot Wheels car. Probably one of the best materials that you can get for this stuff is polystyrene plastic. But in keeping with the spirit of I ain't got this, I decided just to use pieces from scraps and old toys like that. And so you look at your little action figure accessory right here. This weapon was designed for a larger scale figure. Alright. But that does not mean that it can't be broken down and used in your vehicle. See the little spaceman right there? To me, he's holding a gas can right there. I think mesh is one of the most just immediately gives your vehicle that, post-apocalyptic look right there. Wonderful material to use. With the little size that we're dealing with, alright, super glue works well to me. I like to think of it as welding. Even like to give me some little globs right here at the corner. It looks like, whoever made the little car right here, they burned up a whole 60 or 11 rod on that one little joint weld in there, see? This is the accelerator that Craftsman uses. Craftsman, I ain't got no super glue accelerator. It ain't necessary. Hold the items together and just wait on it to cure. Or maybe try blowing it with some hot breath, some hot post-apocalyptic breath up on that thing. Craftsman, I ain't got all the little pieces. Here goes one that my son made just using epoxy clay. He just took, sculpted little parts and stuck it on there. There you go. Craftsman, who is driving this unit right now? Trying to find a figure that's small enough to incorporate into Hot Wheels cars is a challenge, although it's a fun challenge. Also, we live in a time today where you can just, 3D download, print. And then if you 3D print stuff, you might as well just go ahead and print out your Gaslands guns and whatever else that you need, There's just something that's satisfying about finding something that you have, that's just right there. Right now, I got it. I can use it on my vehicle. And that's why I like kit bashing so much. What Craftsman hopes that happens is that you watch this video and maybe you decide to dump out your bucket of Hot Wheels cars. And it would be neat if you could get your kids involved with you. Maybe you can get your parents involved with you. Or your nephew, your niece, your sister, brother. Or maybe you can get your mother-in-law to help. I'm just messing with y'all. We still want this to be fun. I love my mother-in-law. And just get in there and get creative. Look at this right here. My delivery person just brought this to me. Right just as I'm getting ready to finish up this video. But the good thing is now I know we can do family game night. I want to give a shout out to Gaslands. Gaslands is my son. This video would not have been possible without you. I love you, buddy. Did I ever tell y'all about that? Gaslands was almost named Houston. I like the name Houston, but I said, baby, we better not name him that. I felt like that if we would have named him Houston, people always would want to be calling him when they had a problem. Baby, that's crazy. That's crazy. I love y'all and keep on steady crafting.